in what ways should we be taking that baptismal step more seriously? Do you want to say more on that?
Well, like I said, I think it's even more serious than marriage. And we think marriage is terribly important.
Okay.
And when you commit, there's no getting out.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
In marriage, it should be the same way in Christianity. So you want, most of our churches, I think nowadays do premarital counseling. They're trying to make sure that you really get it. That's what I'm talking about. Catechesis is to make sure you really get it. And when you are in, you're stuck. I don't mean that in a negative way, but we say you can't. Sometimes there is separation, but we still say you shouldn't really get divorced and you can't remarry. This is at least as important as that. And I think your relationship with Jesus is even more important. And so we want, just like, did you have premarital counseling? Okay.
Right.
Wasn't that the desire of your families and your church leaders that you go into this with some sensible understanding? Okay. And let's face it, it's probably the most wonderful experience and the hardest. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then you should go into it with good knowledge. Christianity, okay, if marriage is the most wonderful, at least human experience, and also one of the hardest, well, being part of a church is also one of the most wonderful experiences. Being part of Jesus and his body, it's wonderful. But it's got friction. It's got a lot of friction. And I just want to say something that I said recently. I had devotions at Faith Builders, and I was talking about gratitude. And I said that recently I've been reading some articles, and this is both believers and non-believers, saying that the modern generation wants frictionless relationships. And I said, that's insane. There is no such thing. You get married and there's going to be friction, and that's good. I'm single, but I have deeply close friendships. There's friction.
Yeah.
And it's actually a good thing. If I can have friction with my friend and we love each other, and don't say on you, if you have friction with your wife and you say, well, we still love each other and maybe we can't resolve this right now, but we're going to work on it. That's what's supposed to happen. And that's what catechesis is supposed to help you realize. This is serious. And part of it should be, this is permanent. Now, I don't mean you can't go from this church to another church, but Beachy Amish are from the Amish tradition. And the Amish tradition is you can leave and go to another church, but you can't just leave. You've got to be under somebody's supervision or discipline. You've got to change your connection from this church to another church. And we're okay with that. I don't know. There might be some beachy churches that nowadays allow people to leave, just say, I want to leave. That wasn't the way when I first became beachy. And I know that there are struggles every now and then in beachy churches where somebody just wants to say, forget it, I don't want to belong here anymore. If that guy or woman would go somewhere else, then you're responsible to them. But until you do that, we're still responsible for you, and you're responsible to us. We say it doesn't end. And if you want to end it with this congregation, you have to find another congregation. That's how serious it is. So I think marriage and baptism at least are equal. And maybe baptism should be seen as even more important than what happens with marriage. Marriage is extremely important. It's in both the Old Testament and the New Testament. It is the sign of what God wants to have us experience with him. So it's really important. But how do you get there? Through baptism. So